ahead and get started here. We'd like to welcome the 2022 U.S. Team Captain's Assistants to the interview room. We'll get a few opening comments, and then we'll flip it over to media and open it up for questions there. Fred, we'll start with you. Three-time President's Cup captain, and this year is your fourth time as a captain's assistant. Just some opening comments on this week and this special group of guys.
Yeah, no, it's very excited to be here. Davis to choose me to be an assistant with these three guys. I love the golf course, love Charlotte, played here a few times, and it's a little different, but I'll keep it quick. It's just there are 12 great guys on our team, and I met a few guys last night in their national team that I'd never met before, and it's fun to see young faces, and our guys aren't exactly old, but it's going to be a great week. Weather's perfect, and we'll have a good time.
Zach, we'll go to you next. Second time as a captain's assistant, and you're actually preparing for Ryder Cup captaincy next year. How valuable is this experience for you before you take on that role in 23?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? It's hard.
No worries. So this is your second year as captain's assistant, and you're going to be the Ryder Cup captain in 23. So how valuable is this experience this year ahead of that?
Yeah, I got you. Sorry.
No worries.
I mean, anytime you can be a part of one of these teams, it's extremely valuable and extremely fun. I mean, I'm grateful that Davis asked me to be a part of it. I mean, we were just talking, Webb and I, and Steve just walking down the steps over there. Webb's like, I can't believe how much fun a practice round is. I mean, and we're not hitting a shot. So it is an absolute blast. Freddie said it, these young guys, these young kids are so talented, they're so driven, they're so focused, but they still have fun. And both sides, you know, so honored to be a part of it, honor to represent our country, and certainly the PGA Tour and the President's Cup, it's special.
Webb, up next. You're a captain's assistant for the first time, and you're also pretty knowledgeable about this course, being a member. So how special is it to be a part of this team at a place you're so familiar with?
It really is amazing. You know, growing up, I'm watching Davis Love and Freddie Couples just win golf tournaments left and right. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be on Davis's teams before and Freddie's teams, and played with Strick on some teams, and Strick's been great to me. So, and then this guy to my right, Zach and Kim, my rookie year on tour, kind of took us under their wing as well. So I feel like I'm the guy, you know, joining the team, and I'm just kind of all smiles, taking it all in, and it is special to be home. You know, I do have, you know, a bit of experience here, but these are the 12 best players that our country's put forward with 12 amazing caddies, so they don't need a whole lot of help. But I'm looking forward to getting to tomorrow. I think all the players are kind of itching to tee it up and start competing. But, yeah, my first time as an assistant, and I've loved every second.
And then, Steve, you led the U.S. team to victory the last time the President's Cup was held in the U.S. soil in 2017, and you were a captain's assistant in 2019. Just some opening comments on this week and how it's any different or what you're excited about.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo everything that these guys said. It is truly a blessing and a treat to be a part of this team, to be with Davis again, Freddie, Zach, and now Webb, and all great friends, and it's a treat for us. It really is, to watch these guys play, and the amount of talent that they all have is pretty remarkable, and it's fun to watch. And you know, I've said it each and every year, if you're not going to play in one of these events, it's this is the next best thing to be a part of it as a captain or an assistant captain. So it truly is a great week for us to be part of it.
Thank you, guys. And with that, we'll open it up to questions. We'll start here with Bob. And then Tracy, can you to Dylan next?
Hey, Steve, I wanted to ask you, obviously it's been quite the year since the Ryder Cup, especially for you personally. Can you just summarize the health ordeal you dealt with? And then you've come back from that, and you're playing really well right now, too. So just that whole scenario from a year ago.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go, I guess, back into how I really felt. I mean, I was pretty bad for a while. I'm out of that, thankfully. Still don't know what it was to this day. But, yeah, it's been a journey for sure. And, this year has been a progression, trying to, first of all, get my health back, and then really not just trying to get my game back, really, and trying to work towards getting stronger. And I'm finally feeling like I'm 100%. I'm starting to get some speed back, starting to hit a little bit further again, really the last month. And, so it was a weird time, and something that I learned from, gave me some perspective for sure. And stuff like this makes it, even more valuable to be a part of what I went through last November.
Yeah, it's obviously different seeing these guys practicing together here versus a typical PGA Tour event. But I was wondering if any of you guys could explain exactly what that difference is in dynamics and the way they're practicing in pairs and playing games, and what that specific different feeling is from just a typical PGA Tour event.
That's a great question. I feel like for me personally watching, it's just amazing how they strike the ball. But at the same time, when you pair guys up, they're not all best friends in these pairings. I mean, obviously we're putting two guys together that look like they may play together. But then when you play them with someone they may only played 3 times this year, I particularly think they're gambling, not for a lot of money, but just to keep sharp, and they're trying to impress the other guys and beat them. So it's completely different for me, and it's not a grudge match. And they just you were out there walking. I mean, they don't miss many shots, and they have a good time doing it, and they like to show off a little bit and chirp.
We'll go to Shane Ryan next.
This one's for Zach and Steve. You've both been involved in the different methods of making pairings between here and the Ryder Cup, the snake draft versus the blind draw. My question is, how does the preparation differ between the two? And is there one that you prefer from whatever standpoint you want to say?
I don't know what Steve's going to say. I don't prefer either one. I think the beauty of the established cups we have is that they're different. I think that's what's unique. When we come to the President's Cup, we know it's going to be different than the next year, and vice versa. I just think that's special. It requires a little bit more data processing and thinking, which I'm not very good at. I'm sorry? No. Each year, you got to kind of change your mind frame in the sense that, the bottom line is this: depending upon whether or not what we do this afternoon, I mean, you have control over who you put out when 2 or 3 times, today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, and then you have control over 4 of the 8 matches on Saturday and 6 on Sunday, and that's different than the Ryder Cup. You just kind of line it up, and you're going on history based on what they do, and it's just different. And I think that's, we're such creatures of habit and routine in what we do as a job. When we can add a different element but still maintain the beauty of the game of golf, it's fun.
Yeah, and I feel like we have this unique opportunity to take advantage of each of these cups. Zach is here this week to see what we're going to do, see what kind of pairings come out of this week that he may be able to use next year. So we have this ability to use each of these cup teams for the next year's team to produce these pairings. So it really becomes, I feel like it's really the same each and every year. We've gotten to that point, and I think that's why you're seeing better team results from USA Golf, really, because it's gotten more consistent from team to team. From the stats guys that we use, from the pairings to the communication to the players, all that has gotten really a lot more consistent, I think, from each team. And I think that can only help us and benefit us for next year's, matches in the Ryder Cup. And then we'll do the same all over next year at the Ryder Cup. We'll use stuff that Zach did, for the next year's President's Cup. So we have this ability to go from each year to learn more and more and to create these pairings that we know or hope we know that will work.
Next up, Channel 5.
Chris Lee from WRL in Raleigh. This is for Webb. Davis Love has said that you're a natural leader, and of course you played in this event before, and says that you could make a great captain one day. I wanted to see how it feels for you to have this experience to represent your country for the first time as a captain's assistant at the place where you call home.
Yeah, I remember 2011 in Melbourne, Jim Furyk said it was my first time on a team event playing for Freddie, and Furyk said at the end of your career, you're going to remember your wins and your team events, and he was certainly right. I mean, they've been the best memories I've had as a professional golfer. And so certainly, I'm 37. I believe in myself to still be able to play some good golf. I hope to make a couple more teams. But, yeah, I mean, it would be a crazy honor, probably the biggest honor, I could receive in this game to be, up here right now I feel like it's an honor. But, yeah, that certainly would be a goal. And kind of my thought process going into the week was I don't know what goes on this side, but I'm kind of taking notes, learning from these guys, and they put in a lot of work. So it's been really fun to jump on Zooms with them and see how they're thinking through certain matchups. And you got to sit guys. It's a hard thing to try to put two guys out who may be playing great golf, but it's part of the process. And that part has been really fun for me, and I've been, I guess, surprised how much fun it is to kind of get in here and hear from them what they think on, who's going to win and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great, and yeah, maybe one day, but we'll see. It'd be an honor.
Back row, green polo.
Webb, Phil Orban from Channel 9 here in Charlotte. I guess we see the Wells Fargo Championship here so often. We had the PGA Championship a couple years ago. How special is it for you to have these premier events on your home course here in Charlotte, and what have players been asking you about?
It's great. Living here, I can hop on a cart and, get to work in about 30 seconds. So I certainly spend a ton of time out here. And it is something to look forward to every year with Wells Fargo coming back here in just a few months. I definitely get a lot of work done, more than the average PGA Tour player, which means I should have won this tournament a few times, never won before. But it's great. There's, like I said before, I don't have a whole lot to offer to these guys in terms of course knowledge. One, most of the guys have been here and know it. And I'm telling you, these caddies, they know what they're doing. So we get to greens, they're putting the holes down exactly where I would have put them, and they're telling their players to hit this putt and this chip. So more than anything, I've been a flag holder and a raker the last few days. But whatever they need from me, I'll give it to them. I won't hold back.
Brian Lavender, Golf Channel.
Steve, the Americans opened up a sizable lead Saturday at Whistling Straits. How did you guys avoid against complacency then, and what sort of lessons can be applied here when, on paper at least, the U.S. is pretty significant favorites?
Yeah, it goes back to what I was talking about when we have the opportunity to play all these team events and we learn from them. Well, we learned from the 2012 Ryder Cup team and how we had this opportunity to win the Ryder Cup at Medina, 4-point lead going into Sunday, and we didn't take enough time really, or do the right things. And Davis would be the first to acknowledge that. I think, that we just didn't think that through enough, probably, and so when we went to work last Saturday of the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, we put in a lot of time, and we made sure that we got that right, that we put the guys in the place where we thought they should be, knowing kind of the past history of what the Europeans did. So, again, another learning thing, right? And I forgot your other question. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, there's no complacency here at all. I mean, these guys know that, over a course of 18 holes, anybody can beat anybody at this level. The international team is a very good team. Our guys are ready. They're excited to play. They're working hard at it, and I don't think there's not one of them that isn't taking this very, very seriously, and that's been Davis's, approach to this and messaging that we can't just think we can show up and win this thing. We got to go out and play well and take care of business.
Next up, Alex Maselli.
Yeah, Zach,
How much do you, after hearing what Strick was saying about how year to year you guys are picking things up all the time, how much do you actually believe you will take out of this week's for next year? And would you think you would learn more from a loss versus a win?
Second part of the question, I'll be brief. No. No. I don't want to get into that. No. This team came here. They have one common goal in mind, and they're focused. So, no, I don't think I will learn more. I've learned a lot, both from the captains that I played for and then, obviously, the ones that I've served alongside. And the beauty of having that leadership role is that, especially over the last almost 10 years, I'd say 7, 8 years, is that we've kind of got a template, a system in place. However, again, the beauty of it is that the personality of that leader can jump into that system and still have his own form and his own, kind of add his own nuances to it, and it can be their team, if that makes sense. It's you can personalize it even within the system. And I think Steve arguably did that as good as anybody. I mean, granted, the result speaks for itself. He made it about those 12 guys and not about himself, but he also took on the leadership role and made the hard decisions, which are very difficult. So, I'm thrilled to be in the position I'm in. Granted, I'm not really focused on that right now. This is my priority, and has been over the last since Captain Love asked me to be a participant. So I'm going to learn. I'm going to keep learning. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I'm not taking notes. I'm taking notes, and I'm sometimes they're very, very large in magnitude, and then sometimes they're really small, but sometimes those small things can go a long way. So I can tell you one thing: I'm not going to reinvent the wheel next year. That's not going to be my goal. I'm going to try to. I think the synergy, and Steve kind of alluded to it, the synergy we have year to year is there. The rhythm of it is there, but again, you can add your own personal touch to it without deviating away from your common goal and staying on the same street.
We have time for a couple more. Adam Schupak.
All four of you guys have given a lot of time and effort to this event. Are any of you concerned about the future of the event? What could happen if it continues to be such a lopsided results?
Look, we were down, I think, by at least a couple in Australia 19 going into Sunday. And so I think you're going to see the international team continue to produce better players. Now, obviously, they lost a couple of great players to live, but it seems like their team is, as they mentioned, very young, and they're getting better every year. And I don't know the future. I don't know what's going to happen, but it certainly seems like these things are becoming more competitive, even if we do have a great year where we play great. So I hope they stay competitive. Obviously, I want the result that we want, but I remember last year. I mean, we were down going into Sunday, and so I think that says a lot right there.
Well, I play golf. I can answer them as an individual. I've played LA Open 40 times and Augusta like 35. That's 75 times of my two favorite courses in the world, and I've won twice. 3 times. I guess I won LA 3 times. So you don't really go playing places because you think you're going to lose. You happen to lose. And the internationals, we have beaten them, but it's only a couple times where it was kind of lopsided. But I will tell you that a lot of friends asked the same question someone else answered about complacency. And these guys, why would Cam Young not want to win 5 matches if he plays 5 matches? He's never been on a team. He is focused and ready to roll. And again, we focus on our team, and come Sunday, we're all hoping to win. It would be great if we won on the last green like Bill Haas did in Korea. But I get what you're saying. I mean, it's deflating. Webb lives here. He's played Quill Hall. He wants to win this so bad. Hopefully it comes true. But you keep fighting back and you keep playing. And again, this is being shown all over the world. So if you're K.H. Lee or Siwoo Kim and you're Trevor Immelman leading your team, he's going to lead them to the best of their abilities, just like our leader Davis is going to lead our 12 guys. I don't know if that's an answer or not, but.
Last one here with Dave Shidloss.
Yeah, I'm going to embarrass Fred here and ask Zach and Steve about his. He's been on a lot of teams as a captain or assistant captain. I'm just curious, what have you learned from him, and what does he bring to these teams, because they seem to do well?
Yeah, well, Fred's the best. We all want to be like Fred. We all love being around Freddie. He was an assistant for me at both my captaincies at Liberty National and then last year, and he brings a lot. He's very insightful. He knows the players very well. Players gravitate towards him. We all do. We all want to be around him. So it's a great guy to have in the team room. He's very calm, relaxed, rubs off on everybody. And he's not afraid to jab people, have fun with people. But when it comes time to be serious, he's right there to be serious and like I said, to provide that knowledge and that insight that he has. So, that's why he continues to be on these teams, because he brings a tremendous amount of positive energy to the team, and it's a blast to have him around.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of the beauty that, again, of what we've established is that these kids, these guys, take a lot of ownership in their own team. Steve made all the hard decisions last year, granted, and made the captain's picks. I mean, all those these guys, and that's hard, and it's difficult. But these guys have ownership in some of the other key decisions that you don't see. And one of those is they love being around Freddie. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're 19 or 37. I mean, they just, and I get it. I mean, he was my captain twice. He's been my assistant captain multiple times. He's passionate about the Cup. He's passionate about American golf. And inside the team room, it may seem like he's got this really easygoing, simplistic view, and it kind of, but it's extremely cerebral. I mean, there's a lot of thought, and he puts a lot into it. I mean, he's invested, and you just want to be around that. And then I like that he chirps. He gets on these kids. He's not going to let them get on him or get complacent. He's going to get after them, and that's what you want in a leader. So he's been one of my favorite guys that I've ever had to play for, period.
With that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for the time this afternoon.
Thank you.